रेडियो ऑलिव 106.3 FM अनिरुद्ध आपके साथ कथा का नंबर 1 हिंदी रेडियो स्टेशन सुन रहे हैं आप। गुड मॉर्निंग। सैटरडे 10 से 11 के बीच में आप सुनते हैं रेड कार्पेट, द सिग्नेचर शो ऑफ रेडियो ऑलिव, जहां पर हम लोग बुलाते हैं सक्सेसफुल एक्सपैट्स, कतरीज को, स्पोर्ट्स स्टार्स एंड आर्टिस्ट्स जिन्होंने जिंदगी में एक मकाम हासिल किया है। एंड टुडे वी हैव मिस्टर NM Shafiq in the studios, जनरल मैनेजर एट Regency Travel and Tours. Shafiq साहब, welcome to the show.
Thank you Aniruddha. Thank you for having me.
Shafiq साहब, you've studied in Gulbarga, 22 years of experience in travel industry, and you speak 5 languages.
In fact, South Indian languages. I mean, I would have been fortunate if I would have spoken the foreign languages though.
Works in the travel industry, but yeah, of course. Yeah. Let's start with the beginning. How did you get into the travel industry? How did it all start?
Well, so, it was all need-based, I would say.
All right.
So, it was not, I was not passionate about travel industry, but now I am, after spending 22 years. So, it all started from, I used to be in college.
All right.
Just roaming around doing things like usually what
stuff you got to do in college.
Stuff you got to do. So eventually then the parents said, then guy, I think you need to be serious.
Right.
So I moved to Chennai where my relatives live. From there I actually happened to meet somebody, a friend of my uncle.
Okay.
Who took me to his who had a travel agency.
All right.
So he said, do you want to work here while you do your education? I said fine. So I got into the travel agency.
Right.
So I was also doing travel and tours management course in the morning, and then I used to attend the office during the day.
Wow.
That's how I started in the travel industry.
Right.
So I've started doing everything from scratch, to be honest. So when I joined a travel agency, I thought I'll be a travel agent, but I was given a job of a stationery assistant, to be very honest.
Okay.
So I used to give pens and papers and stuff to the employees.
Right.
Then I made my grounds within the company.
Right.
Then I started learning domestic travel, where we used to issue tickets manually, pick up the phone, call the airlines, get the fares, draw a manual ticket and then give it. So that's how I learned travel industry.
Wow.
And slowly I moved within the company from being a domestic travel assistant to an international travel assistant. Then after a year in Sharif Travels was my first company which I was working in Chennai.
All right.
After that, they moved me to visa and documentation.
All right.
Visa and documentation is a pretty long story. It takes about an hour if I want to explain. But then just to cut it short. So I used to travel to Pondicherry for 3 months in a year continuously.
All right.
Day in and day out.
Okay.
Just to get the French visas out for people.
Oof.
And customers. So it was a pretty hectic journey, first 3 or 4 years of my travel industry. But then after that I moved into a lot of other companies within Chennai. I worked for airlines. I worked for travel and tourism boards.
Right.
And I worked for a lot of multinational companies as well.
Right.
And after that I moved to Qatar.
Yeah, lovely. So how's the weather on top now?
It's pretty hot, I would say.
I know. In fact, literally we've taken off our suits and we are like in our white shirts in the studio and chilling. Lovely. So you started working in the travel industry and you started traveling literally for your work as well. But now after 22 years, where all have you traveled and where all would you like to go? Places you haven't been to.
So I don't know if I have posted that on Facebook, because this is pretty interesting that you're asking me, because a lot of people ask me like where all I have traveled in the last 22 years.
Right.
I think I have just been to 1/4 of the world still.
That's a lot.
Which is probably a lot. 90 countries to be precise. I think there's still a lot of 3/4 of the world which is left to be explored. I've not been there, and I would definitely want to do that before I die, which is important. As you say, when you travel is when you actually know what your customers also need. I mean, you can actually know the destination on first hand.
Yeah.
So I've traveled to most of Europe, most of the Asian countries. I've been to America and South America.
Right.
I've been to Russia, China, and most of the countries, I would say. But I still need to touch the 3/4 of the world.
Don't worry, I'm
all the
85 countries behind you. I have a longer way to go. But lovely. Shafiq Saab, we're talking about how you have traveled so much in the world. Tell me more about Regency.
So, Regency Travel and Tours is a pretty interesting story. So, it all started in 1987. That's about 31 years to be precise. Now.
Okay.
We are not as old as the other travel agencies are.
Okay.
But I would still consider us as an young travel agency.
Right.
But then very hungry. In 1987 is when the owner, Mr. Ibrahim Al-Asmak, he started the company.
All right.
with a couple of people.
All right.
So we had a first branch in Alasmak Street, which is the very prominent street in Doha, if you're aware of it.
Yeah.
It's pretty old, and that's the street. It's also named after the family. So that's where the first branch started from. And from there, it grew into 2 folds, 3 folds, 4 folds. And today, we are 44 outlets.
Wow.
In Qatar.
In Qatar
itself.
Wow.
That includes implants in major corporate companies like the multinationals and SMEs, government companies,
Right.
universities, and so on.
Right.
Plus, we also have 22 retail outlets across the country, right from east, north, west, and south.
Beautiful.
We have covered everywhere.
Beautiful.
So we actually wanted. You might ask me, like, why so many outlets within Qatar? That's purely because we wanted our customers to reach wherever they are. Kind of, we wanted to serve them from their own locality.
Yeah,
And that's why we spread across. And touchwood, today we are by far the number 1 travel agency in terms of volumes, in terms of size, in terms of employees. And
Congratulations. Yeah. In fact, you guys have won many awards, a few special ones as well. Would you like to tell about the awards that you guys have won?
So there are a lot of awards which we've won, but one of them which I would like to specifically highlight here is the World Travel Awards, which is considered as the Oscars of the travel industry.
Brilliant.
That's given by an association called World Travel Awards. That's the company based out of UK.
All right.
So there are different categories. We've been winning the Middle East Leading Travel Agency Award for the last 8 years in a row.
Fabulous.
And, every year we win this award, it feels pretty new. Something we are winning.
Good.
And it actually adds up a lot of responsibility as well that, we are the Middle East Leading Travel Agency. So a lot of people ask me that question, like, how come there are so many companies in the region who are bigger than you, but they are not winning this award.
Right.
That, I think, purely because of our exclusive and unique service standards which we offer.
Yeah.
If you walk into our office, we've got an exclusive reception,
Beautiful.
which nobody else has.
Beautiful.
So you have a guest service assistant who actually takes you like a hotel.
Right.
She will guide you, she or he will guide you to the travel consultant who you want to go and talk to. And it's exclusive. It's pretty exclusive and pretty private spaces where you can actually have a one-on-one conversation with the travel consultant than sitting in a counter where you're not really comfortable that somebody else is hearing to your conversation.
Got you.
So that's how we do our service.
Fabulous. These small things matter.
It does.
Yeah. Fabulous. In fact, about winning awards, winning the first one is never difficult. Winning the second one and the third one and the fourth one in streak, I think that's what counts. And I'm sure you have like a fabulous team that's always motivated. Tell me more about your team. In fact, Aditya is here. Aditya, you can at least say hi.
Hi, Aniruddha. Hi, Shafiq.
That's Aditya's voice. Please tell us more about your fabulous team.
So Aditya has joined us about 6 years ago. About 6 years ago. So Aditya was a find for us, I would say.
Right.
He's currently working as the business development director for the company. So beside Aditya, we have about 450 people in the entire team.
Wow.
That includes travel consultant from managers. So we've got our own dedicated departments for sales, for marketing, for product development, operations, frontline.
Right.
And call centers and our back offices and front offices and so on.
How does a team stay motivated? Because service industry, you got to be on your toes always, assisting the clients, traveling always. So how do you keep your team motivated? What works for you?
Sure. We've got a lot of things we do, a lot of activities we do in-house.
Right.
So I don't know if people are aware, we also have a desert camp, which is one of its kind in Qatar. I don't think there's nobody else has that kind of
I've
camp.
heard a lot of praise for the desert camp.
So we do a lot of team building activities in the camp. We do a lot of team building activities within in-house. We have a lot of competitions. We've got an incentive programs running for the staff wherein they are hungry to get business.
Nice.
We've got incentives for different products and different airlines, different hotels, whatever they sell. So eventually, motivation is definitely a key thing to keep your people motivated. But I think financial motivation can never take away any other motivation.
Yeah.
So we keep them very financially motivated, as well as a lot of team building activities is something which we regularly do.
Brilliant. Fellow travelers, where can they find out more about Regency?
They can definitely go visit all our branches.
All right.
As I said, 44 outlets, or they can all definitely go to our website, regencyholidays.com.
All right, regencyholidays.com.
Regencyholidays.com.
And a Facebook page.
Or regency-travel.com.
All right.
We also have recently launched our online travel portal, called myholidays.com,
Okay.
which is pretty popular in Europe right now. Because our road map is entirely different from what the other OTAs have adopted, because our marketing team and everybody thinks differently.
Right.
So they wanted to hit Europe and then come to Middle East, but then it's still available. You can just go and log in myholidays.com.
All right.
You can find amazing deals there. You can find amazing hotels.
Fabulous.
Or
Lovely.
definitely they can visit any of the Regency Travels branches, which are open 24/7. By the way, we are the only 24/7 physically open travel agents.
24/7?
24/7
You're not
physically
joking?
open. 2 o'clock in the morning, you walk into our office, you can find people sitting there just to serve you guys.
Fabulous, fabulous. Shafiq Saab, tell me more about customer satisfaction. What is that one thing in the travel industry that really works for making people happy?
I think it's the trust and what service definitely is a part of the service industry. If you're in the service industry and if you don't offer good service, then you don't need to be in the service industry.
True.
So service is something very secondary. I would say trust is the one critical point of contact with your customer.
All right.
Because the customer trusts you and that's it. And I might sound a bit contradicting here, but then I would like to also highlight there are a lot of customers who think that going online, booking a ticket is as simple and you don't really have to take all the headache to go to a travel agency, sit with them and then buy a ticket or a hotel or plan your holiday.
Right.
But yeah, you can do that if you want to fly point to point. You go onto any website and just book your ticket.
Right.
But then what happens if something goes wrong? You're just talking to a number. You're not talking to a human being.
Right.
And that trust factor is something which you really need to get.
True that.
So that is why I think brick and mortar businesses like us, Regency Travel and Tours,
Yeah.
a lot of people tell us that, oh, you guys are going to die, but I don't think we will.
Yeah.
As long as the trust is, there, and you offer obviously good service, customers will keep coming back to you. And planning a holiday, you can't do it online.
Yeah.
I mean, you really need...
You need someone.
You need
help
someone
out.
to advise you.
Yeah.
Like a doctor, you can just go online and get your problem treated.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
you really need to go to a doctor if you want your problem to be treated.
True that.
So that's how exactly I think a travel agency is.
Very well said. All right, there's a nice small surprise round for you as well. So that's a rapid fire round coming up for you. All right, so you got to be quick with the answers. What's that one thing that you've always had on your desk?
Calculator.
All right, that's it. That's a must. All right. One place you'd love to go on a vacation.
I would love to go to Mexico.
All right. Something that you've always carried with you on a vacation.
My laptop.
Something that you always forget to carry.
My phone.
Oh God, that's a big problem then. All right. Your favorite comfort food while traveling?
Indian. Anywhere I go.
Okay, anything Indian. Not bad.
Anything Indian.
All right. Road trip or flying?
I would love road trip.
Favorite movie to watch on a vacation?
Anything goes. I just want to pass time. Any movies.
Okay. You did fabulous on the rapid fire round. Okay. Shafiq Saab, last question. One message from your side to all the fellow travelers, the travel enthusiasts in Qatar. What would you say?
Well, I think, first of all, whenever you plan your holiday or travel, I think you need to book early.
Okay.
That's pretty important to
that's
save cost.
Yeah.
Because last moment bookings will definitely not save you cost and will also create a lot of hassles.
Right.
Beside that, I think you need to be very transparent with what you want and what you get from your travel agent. Yeah. Transparency, when I'm talking about transparency, it's about is the hotel rates including taxes or not? Or the flight tickets changeable or not? There are a lot of times where you feel that you're getting the cheapest airline ticket.
Right.
But then when you travel is when you realize that you end up paying more than what the ticket cost is. That's the transparency I'm talking about. You need to be very, very careful about what you are accepting and what you've been told from your travel agent.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that everybody
will try to cheat
you, but then you need to be very clear in what your understanding is about.
You got to know
the
what's
ticket.
on the fine print. So
exactly.
That's there. Yeah.
I think beside that, be early to the airport. A lot of time you miss on flights and you might be carrying probably tickets which are non-refundable. You lose a lot of money on that. And before you travel, before you leave your house, please call the airline.
Right.
Check if the flight is on time or not.
Right.
Because you might end up staying at the airport for hours before you actually fly.
Yeah, true.
When you really want to book your holiday, when you're traveling on vacation, I think you should not really compromise on the quality.
Right.
Because the first thing you get into any country, any hotel you get into is considered as your place where you're going to stay there.
Yeah.
So when you find your room to be not really as per your expectation,
Right.
then your entire holiday is spoiled.
True that.
So I think you need to really make sure that you don't compromise on quality. Even if you have to pay a bit more, spend that money, have a nice holiday.
Fabulous. Lovely. Thank you so much for being here, and it
Thank
was
you.
an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
रेडियो ऑलिव पर अनिरुद्ध आपके साथ. Next Saturday we're going to be back with another red carpet. तब तक इंतजार कीजिए. Coming up, top 20 on Radio Olive 106.3 FM, Karagan #1 Hindi radio station. Cheer bindas, guys. Good morning.